through with another live stream. America is going down in the worst ways. All you got to do is pay attention. It's not looking too good at all. Now, everybody can't see what's going on. Only a remnant. What's so crazy about this empire falling the way it is? Everything seems to be running smoothly. But that's all a mirage. It appears one way on the surface, but once you get up close to it, you can see that it's only an illusion. America has been going after everything that is sovereign within these last few years or so. But specifically last year. Also, we just started 2026, and already we have a chain of events that's pointing towards more internal conflict. Another protester was gunned down in Minnesota. Another one. His name is Alex Preddy, 37-year-old nurse, family man. And what we witnessed on camera is an open, shut case. They took that man out. They took that man out. You could see him being corralled by at least 10 federal agents. You could see his weapon being confiscated. And then you hear shots going off, and they left his lifeless body in the middle of the street, walked off like nothing happened. This man didn't engage any ICE agents. They approached him, pepper sprayed him multiple times, and then took him out. And it seems that we're seeing public crucifixions every single day in America. It seems that we are watching snuff films on the news. And it's almost like the news has turned into the dark web, where you can see people get violently taken out on a daily basis. The trauma cycles are moving rapid. So now, middle America is grappled with fear. And people's eyewitness accounts versus what the media is saying is two different things. They're making people question their own eyes. America's violating everything that is sovereign. They went over there to Venezuela, kidnapped the president and his wife, took their oil supply. And they did this in a sovereign nation. Then They attempted to do the same thing in Greenland. However, they was unsuccessful, but they were able to get total access to Greenland. And Greenland being another sovereign land that says that they are not for sale. And then to add insult to injury, to take it a step further, while America is getting involved with all these small battles, let's not call them wars, let's call them battles that can lead up to war, by the way. While they're getting involved in all these small battles, you have the president denouncing NATO, our only allies. Our only allies would be the European nations, which America says, look, we don't need them. This is what Babylon is about. Pride. Saying that they stand as a queen and they shall be not touched. They stand as a widow and shall not be touched. Ain't what the scriptures say? And America's argument is that, hey, they give NATO all its military force and they claim that they're financing NATO. And let's make this clear. A great deal of the world does operate on the consumerism of Americans. Why? Because Americans are wasteful spenders, always getting more than what we need. So the whole world relies on our economy to thrive. However, NATO is a little bit different because America only pays for about 16% of NATO's funding. 16%. And the percentage is a very, very little percentage when it comes to American defense out of those funds. It's a very small percentage. There's really no sweat off our back to have allies. But no, America wants to start all these battles and have no allies. And you have some people that say, well, we don't need them. They're not strong allies. Who else going to ally with America? Who else? Who else but the Western world? They done pillaged, destroyed, violated every other country outside of the Western world. Don't you understand that America is the only country that dropped a nuke on somebody? Do you realize that they have been the war machine of the United Nations, and that the way global posturing is going right now, people want to leave America high and dry, and America is so arrogant, they're going to leave themselves high and dry. America will be the scapegoat. Meanwhile, internal conflict rips this place to shreds, just like the Roman Empire. Minneapolis looks like a war zone right now, which happens to be what? A sanctuary city. Anything solemn, anything considered a sanctuary, anything considered sacred is being violated and desecrated, because that's what the Romans do. I wonder what it's going to be like when warfare finally strikes America. And there's a massive conflict, and America's the target from multiple countries. See, people are used to war going on over there. They're not used to it being at home. But what goes around must come around. All the turmoil, dissension, anarchy that America has caused, it has to come back around full surface. Now, of course, everything that happens in this world is for the greater good of those who love God. We're not worried about it, but however, Malcolm X tells us that the future is for those who prepare for it. And when you look at what's going on, Babylon the Great is falling. It's falling. And the people are turning cold. Everybody's at war with each other. While at the same time, the so-called powers that be are at war with you and me. Look, the Bible says, give Babylon double what she gave us. So we know this place is going down, man. All you got to do is pay attention. All hell is breaking loose in America right now. I was looking at some of the footage over there in Minnesota. Some people saying there's some crisis actors involved. It very may well be. But guess what? There's some real casualties. 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. And that's what's happening right now. It seems that that blunt piece of American pie just ain't obtainable no more. Instead of true sustainability, people are still focused on vanity in a time where necessity is what's required. But people not seeing that. People not seeing that. The Bible prophesied that America would be the shortest reigning empire. And it really seems that way at the rate we're going. America ain't been around that long. But it's headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. It's headed for self-destruction. Can't you see? Can't y'all see what's going on? Whoever would have thought 60 years ago that you would see federal agents, militarized federal agents, in the streets gunning people down for protesting? Whoever would have thought you would see federal agencies versus local law enforcement? Who would have ever thought you would have seen the National Guard being pinned up against some rogue federal agency called ICE? Now, y'all got to remember, initially, ICE was brought in to enforce immigration policy and border control. If you pay attention to the news right now, every single day, it don't look like this is about immigration no more now, does it? This don't look like it's about border control no more now, does it? See, middle America thought it was cool to go around racially profiling people, snatching them up off the streets, putting people in shipping containers, sending them to God knows where. The very same people who was tilling the soil in your farms. They're the very same people who was upkeeping your farmland. You know, those people. The very same people that was working your construction jobs for less pay than everybody else. Yeah, those people. The same people who conveniently didn't need a green card when they was paving the highways. But the moment where the infrastructure was finished, Granny and them was getting put on shipping containers. Because there was people packed up and sent off that didn't even belong packed up and sent off. But middle America sat back and they was okay with that because they thought that would never happen to them. But now things have escalated. Things have escalated. So now, right, ICE don't seem to be out there enforcing no immigration. They seem to be out there banging on protesters. They seem to be out there violating your First Amendment. They gunning middle-aged white men and white women down. And the message is comply or die. And the war machine don't have nothing to lose. Because if you get out there in them streets and you start really going hard, arming up as a militia, oh, they love that. Oh, they're going to really send the cavalry in. Then they're going to be able to fight you with different forms of warfare. That's what they want. Because tyranny is here. But if you don't fight back, they like that too. That means they can slowly invade, continue to, attack. You got a whole lot of these ICE provocateurs out there that's going to continue to provoke violence and incite violence. Because they don't have nothing to lose. This is what they was hired for. And here's a little news flash. Allegedly, those ICE agents aren't even U.S. citizens. Allegedly. Those so-called ICE agents, they don't have no horse in the race. Deuteronomy 4:9. Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy lives. That's why you got to really hone in and focus on your soul salvation. The Babylonian Empire is falling. Yeah, Babylon is being broken into fractions. It really looks like the movie Civil War, where you got checkpoints everywhere. And they asking you, what kind of American are you? Now, I'm going to say this. I do understand that as foundational Black Americans, also known as the tribe of Judah, we decided to stay out of the protest. And I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, when they was going into our communities in Chicago, Washington, D.C., when they was going into our communities in Louisiana, different parts of Tennessee, Memphis, everybody was cool with that. When they were violating our rights, there was no worldwide protest. And yes, some of our people died in ICE custody as well. And then a whole lot of our people were just straight up missing. Allegedly. But I could tell you this now, the numbers didn't add up. They said that they arrested thus amount of people, thousands of people, but the prisons was packed. We didn't know these people's names. We didn't know these federal agents at the time had the right to actually apprehend us and arrest us, but that's what they were doing in the Black community. That's what they were doing. But nobody was protesting when they was violating the Constitution and violating our rights. Nobody had nothing to say. So now it's showed up in Middle America's doorstep. They got their provocateurs on the left trying to not even incentivize us, just trying to get us to get involved. Nah, we're going to stay out of that. And honestly, they would have kept their hooks in our necks if we would have popped off. They didn't get the same response from us as they're getting from middle America, because middle America is used to having their rights. You go pull them over, they like, what's your badge number, buddy? This is what they're used to. They're not used to just having their rights violated. They're not used to that. See, in our community as a whole, anybody with a damn white lab coat and a damn badge on, we pretty much are compliant as a whole, not all of us. You know, them people in middle America used to being pulled over, and they used to being able to be like, why the hell did you pull me over, damn it? See, we don't move like that. So now it's a war that they gotta fight in their communities. Now I'm gonna say this as well. Regardless if you Democrat or Republican, you have to be against protesters getting gunned down in the street. That's your First Amendment. You have the right to protest, even if you disagree with the Democrats, which I disagree with their antics. I disagree with a lot of the Democratic viewpoints, especially in regards to marriage and things that should be more so wholesome, especially when it comes to some of the public funding that they allow to be stolen right underneath our noses, given to foreigners. And when I say foreigners, I mean like, you know, these Somalis that came in and stole millions of dollars that should have been financial backing in our community. You know, these Somalis that have fake daycares and all of this nonsense stealing our funding. The Democrats let that kind of nonsense happen. And the Democrats also let these foreigners from Somalia and different parts of Africa come in and commit crimes, and we had to absorb their crimes because all they put was black down. The Democrats did that, and the Democrats stay pandering. They stay pandering, but they never really do anything. Although I may not be in alignment with democratic positions, I disagree that anyone should be gunned down, murdered because they want to protest. And I don't give a damn if you are strong right or not. If you can't see that that's an issue, you're part of the problem. These people have the right to protest. They have the right to get up there and have their moment and picket, and they have the right to go out there and do what they're doing. And they don't deserve to lose their lives in the process. And that's just right versus wrong, not right versus left. And what happened? What happened to that nurse, Alex Preddy, was savage. These ICE agents show you who the real thugs are, who the real gangsters are. And now this ain't about immigration enforcement. This is about total control over U.S. citizens. This is about ruling through fear. This is about trauma cycles, fear cycles being pushed on the media. This is about making an example out of people. So much so they don't care if it's a white woman or a white man. I watched the footage from different angles. And I see why Minneapolis is in such chaos right now. I see why they're in chaos. See, there's a pattern developing. That's right, they set a precedent. See, all those people in Minnesota, they see themselves in Alex Preddy, they see themselves in Renee Nicole Good, and now in their minds, it's either kill or be killed. In their minds, they're next. In their minds, they're looking at this like, okay, if we don't put a stop to this, they're going to get all of us. See, you may only see 2 people on the news that lost their lives, but Middle America sees a much bigger problem. See, they don't move like we would move in our community. Through our captivity, we're used to seeing our people since slavery get all kinds of just abuse. We're used to seeing our people being genocided to a degree. But these folks, oh no, they're not used to this. They're not used to this. There's a storm coming in America. There's a storm coming, and it ain't gonna slow down. In 2026, you can expect a lot of these type of scenarios in every city. All 50 states in chaos. When it comes to the highly concentrated areas, you're gonna see it, because if you look at what's going on right now, nationwide protests sparking quicker and quicker and quicker. Something can happen. You can turn on the news. Listen, there's people protesting in Chicago, all the so-called blue states. You know, you see them in New York. You see them everywhere. Soon as something happens, and like the Bible tells us, if the Most High was going to fix Babylon, he would have did it already. If he was going to fix this place, if he was just going to revive America, he would have done it already. But we sitting back and we watching things get worse and worse and worse. And the people grow in more denial day to day. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to get the like button up for the truth. We speaking nothing but the truth. Because under the exterior of America, it is a third world country. And they have to stay in conflict and war just to survive. Under the surface of everything, you can see judgment coming to this place. And everything that I'm saying is just biblical, it's Bible based. You know, I'm not uttering out of my own heart. I'm only on here to give you a message, man. Let me see. James 1:19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. Absolutely. And that will save you in this time. Because right now, they're trying to pull a lot of people into the arena through emotionalism. That's the word you got to look out for. People who are prone to make mistakes are those who are going to see something in the news and be emotionally swayed by it, put themselves out there, and end up a soft kill. We are at war. I got so much material I got to react to with a lot of military veterans. I'm talking about, I got footage of high-ranking military veterans talking about what's going on in the country, what to expect, what they see going on. And this is coming from people who would know. They would know. And some of the things they're saying, it makes total sense. And then people are sleeping on Iran. Iran is not to be played with. Everybody think that America is this bully, which America is a bully, pardon me. I should word it this way. Everybody sees that America's this bully. But what they don't see is how vulnerable it actually is. They don't see it. Did we win the war in Afghanistan, ladies and gentlemen? No, we didn't. We had to withdraw our troops. Did we win Vietnam War? No, we did not. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't win any wars. Now, we are successful in extracting resources from other nations. But America retreated. And the reason why is because America is not skilled in guerrilla warfare, like a place like Venezuela or a place like Iran, especially Iran. America is not ready for the element of surprise. They're not ready for war on a rough terrain for real. Only airstrikes. That's it. Only airstrikes. And even with the last airstrike that they laid on Iran, I'm going to be honest with y'all. They allegedly missed, that bunker buster they dropped to get rid of Iran's nuclear capabilities. They missed. They missed. Iranian leadership showed them removing all of their materials weeks earlier. There's video footage of them removing the materials. They missed. So when I say the element of surprise, you got our president gloating, talking about we ruined their nuclear capabilities. You didn't ruin a damn thing. You didn't ruin nothing. Iran, Russia, and China are still building together, doing business together, in communication. I don't remember if Iran is buying from Russia, or actually Russia and China is still being supplied oil by Iran through the border Hormuz. Yeah, you did. America didn't shake nothing. Only thing they did was shake the media up with more pride, arrogance, and ego. If their mouths are moving, they're lying. Yeah, that bunker bomb cost millions of taxpayers' dollars, and they missed. You gotta wake up. Right now in America, they're losing traction. You got a lot of other countries. Somebody's upset in the chat because they want to believe that they're safe and secure. They want to believe that America really landed. I see somebody in the chat. They want to believe that I'm lying. All you got to do is go do the research. There's videos of them moving all their materials. I know that bothers you to go do the research and look it up and fact check what I'm saying, but you can look it up. That person in the chat is pissed. You know why? Because I just disturbed their reality. Because America got them cradled. Oh, you're safe. The government in which goes around ruling with an iron fist, ruling through tyranny, ruling through colonization and imperialism. Yeah, you're safe with that country, and everything they tell you is the truth. Does that make you feel better? See, and that is the, somebody said it, Tania said it, that hurts their ears. And that's the reason why America is in trouble right there. If I could say what I'm saying right now, and most Americans was receptive, understanding that, hey man, this guy is on to something. The truth is the truth. Then more people will be in the right mindset. But this is not widely accepted. It's not widely accepted from content creators because they want to continue the whole left right wing paradigm. They want to continue, oh, I'm a Republican content creator, or I'm a Democrat content creator, and they want to keep that whole thing going because that's how they get paid. They don't want nobody disrupting the reality that that's two wings of the same damn bird, and that they secretly work together to destabilize the people. A Hegelian dialect means you got two opposing sides working together to play their target that's in the middle. That's what's happening. They don't want to acknowledge that. An example would be the Democrats pass gay marriage. The Republicans say, hell no, we don't want gay marriage. But then the Democrats say, well, look, let's do gay marriage in certain cities like Los Angeles and Las Vegas. And then the Republicans say, okay, I'll meet you halfway with that. Now, did you see what just happened? First, it was an adamant no that gay marriage is against the Bible. It's supposed to be a Judeo-fundamental Christian country. But now what just happened? Good cop, bad cop. Good cop, bad cop. That's all it is. And if you're thinking for a New York second that them Republicans ain't sweet and low like the damn sugar. If you think they ain't sweet and low, just go look at Nick Fuentes and you just look at Nick Fuentes and the rest of those bozos and Myron Gaines and claim to be Republican. Just go look at those flaming flamingos over there. Just go look at Andrew Tate and all them moist towelette whoopee cushion ass soft people claiming to be Republicans. You tell me what's conservative about those. Tell me what's so conservative about those dudes. Not a damn thing. Just as flamboyant as hell. Just as flamboyant as hell. Both sides are corrupt. Y'all seen them boys went on a mandate. A bunch of, never mind, I ain't gonna go there. I can go in. Don't think for a second that all these people aren't just working together to cause confusion. It should be very simple to see, it's evident. Yeah, somebody said it, they're puppets. Yep, weirdos, freaks, and perverts on the left and the right. But they hide behind conservatism. And they be the worst ones. America is going down bad right now. It's not looking good at all. It ain't looking good. It's looking like within the next wind is blowing. It's looking like within the next, I would say 5 years, you're going to have a few things that take place. The American dollar completely, devalued. The American dollar is going to be completely devalued. There's going to be some new type of economic system in place. Next 5 years from now, look, you're going to see military presence like never before. Like never before. I'm talking about checkpoints everywhere. Exactly what the book of Ezra says, where it says, actually that's the book of Esdras in the Apocrypha, where it says a man would desire to go into one city and to the next but can't, you could see that coming. You could see universal basic income being a thing and being a real argument. You can see more talks. You can see more talks about NATO and America and America losing its allies. You're going to see more of that. And you're going to see more people blaming America. America will become the villain. Right now, everybody's quiet because they're relying on America's economy. But this place is designed to fall. I study war. I study ancient civilizations. I study society. I study culture. And this place is looking a lot like ancient Rome. And they keep us distracted with bread and circus. Bread and circus, in case you never heard of that term, is something they used in ancient Rome, where they would feed people a lot of food, a lot of wine, you would have all of that. Like, you see all the fast food mukbangs and all that. You would have access. And they will also get you with entertainment. Are you not entertained? Back then they used the Roman Colosseums. They use sporting events. Now they using everything that can release dopamine. They feed us garbage for cheap. They rock us to sleep while keeping us entertained. It's called bread and circus. They did this in ancient Rome right before Rome fell. Food and entertainment. Meanwhile, it'll be real things happening in the world. Like military strategically placed in the streets in every major city. The Bible says when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, you flee into the hills. It's abnormal to see military in your streets, especially gunning down citizens. Tax-paying United States citizens are now being gunned down in the United States in the middle of the streets. And we want to talk about who's a dictator or not. We don't see that we're under a dictatorship in America. We don't see that the media is able to label someone some type of extremist based on their political views. Last time I checked, we had a bipartisan system. Now, if you choose to be on the other side, you're an extremist. Oh, they did that by design. They're going to be able to do that with everything. It's going to come a time they're going to outlaw the Bible. They're going to outlaw this right here on this hoodie. They're going to outlaw this. They're going to outlaw believers. They're going to outlaw people who don't want to get the mark of the beast. They're going to outlaw people who speak against Satan's system. They're going to outlaw people who speak against the powers that be. George Orwell, 1984. It's going to come true. Because if you could use the media to radicalize citizens, how did protesters become what did they label them? They labeled the protesters instigators. They labeled the protesters antagonists. No, they're protesters. So what they gonna label the Christians, the real Christians, those who really follow Christ? Not the people in the churches, and most of these churches. Yeah, they call them agitators. That's right, Golden. How you go from protesters to agitators? So your right to protest, you immediately agitating the government. And now they're dying. Yeah, they labeled them insurrectionists. If you say I disagree with the political standpoint of the white nationalists in this country, you gonna label that hate speech next? If you say, look, white Christian nationalism is actually a version of the Klan, essentially, and America First actually started with the Ku Klux Klan, is that hate speech or is that the truth? Because that's where it started, because these white Southern Baptist Christians were the same ones that was running around burning crosses in our front yards. They were the same ones that was literally hanging Negroes from trees on Sunday, right after they left church. They was having picnics. They was eating ices and ice cream and laid their picnic blankets on there and just watched Negroes swinging from trees right after Sunday service. And those same people exist. Those same people are in the White House. Those same people are in Congress. Those same people are governors and mayors. And they claiming to be Christians. No, they're Christian nationalists. There's a difference. Christians follow Christ as the scriptures have written. And Jesus Christ was black. The Bible says he had hair of wool and skin of burnished bronze. Jesus Christ, the real Christ, when his parents fled to escape Roman persecution at his birth, he fled into Egypt. We know the Egyptians are black because y'all cut the noses off the Sphinx to hide that big nose of ours. If Christ was white, why would he go hide amongst the Egyptians? He would definitely stand out like a sore thumb, a little white baby in the middle of Egypt, hiding from Roman persecution. Make that make sense. He was a black man from the tribe of Judah. Matter of fact, the Bible says he was the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The Bible says he who remember Christ as the scriptures have read shall have everlasting life. These white Christian nationalists are not following Christ. And then you got certain creators that say, look, what's that one? The Anton Daniels dude, he said, look, he not black, he's Christian. You got people like that who really just align with white Christian nationalism, aka white supremacy. Denounced his own lineage just to say, no, I'm just Christian. That should tell you everything you need to know. Many shall come in the name of Christ and deceive many. Christ don't know nothing about you. Yeah, somebody says, let me see. Yeah, of course you got your sellouts that's going to sell out to white supremacy. I'm not one of those. Never will be. Yeah, the Bible says it. Many shall come in my name. And at the end, what is Christ going to say? Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. Depart from me, I never knew you. But the sellouts, the raccoons, they get their reward. They get their little 5 minutes of fame, and they get financially rewarded for being, sellouts. But they lose their soul. I'd rather keep my soul. And even though, on social media, I've been around for a while, they try to give a brother the bare minimum. They allow me to literally just to scrape by, even though I have a pretty sizey audience. But they play their games and let me slide. But I would rather work with that than sell out. I would rather have my soul intact. That's why the Bible says, envy not the wicked. Envy not the wicked. Because they're going to have their reward. Hey, listen, the Bible says time and chance is for everybody. I'd rather speak truth to power. And the truth is, America's fault and all the taskmasters that they utilize, they're going to see the devil for what he is when that time comes. Because when they done with you, when white supremacy is done with these people, they don't have a community to run back to. You ain't gonna have no community to run back to. And when they done with you, they're gonna execute you just like they've done in history. History repeats itself. They'll take you right in the backyard and they'll gun you down simply because you was able to influence too many people. They're gonna be like, okay, yeah, look, we're done with you. Hope you enjoyed your 30 shekels. But yeah, you were able to influence too many people. We got to get you up out of there. Now they put a hot one in you. That's how it's gonna go. They're gonna disregard you. And then listen, the white supremacists don't respect you. They don't respect you guys that get on here trying to glaze white supremacy. They don't respect you. You are still their enemy. But I'm going to tell y'all, it's looking bad in America. There's going to come a time in this country where those who seem to have it all, they're going to be asking for help from those who had to live on the streets. There's going to be people who was millionaires who are going to have to find out how to survive from people who grew up off of ramen noodles, beef jerky, and Spam. It's going to come a time in this country where you matter as a person. Who you are. What type of morals do you have? Do you have integrity? Do you have dignity? Do you have honor? Can you be respectful around other people? That's why you're supposed to be training now. You got to be training now in this country how to be morally and civilly sound. Because at some point it's going to be about what you can offer. What type of trades do you have? What type of skill sets do you have? What do you have to bring to the table? It's going to come a time where people can't hide behind their bank accounts. They can't hide behind social media personalities. They can't hide behind a facade that they put on their account. Because, people on their accounts, it's just a version of themselves. It's going to come a time where you can't hide behind that and you have to deal with people firsthand in a survival situation. Are you ready for that? If not, start working on yourself. Start working on good old-fashioned ethics. Good old-fashioned kindness, respect. Good old-fashioned communication in a world where communication is being hindered. You got to make that your strong point. Learning how to humble yourself. Yeah, that's right. Clarence said you got to have a code of ethics because that's who really survives, man. This is what they don't tell you, but that's who really survives. Let me see. Somebody says Iran has more than 650 Christian churches. The oldest, Quora Kalisha, is almost 2,000 years old. That's interesting. But most Iranians are Muslims. Most of them are Muslims. And we know that. And I'm gonna tell you what makes Iran so dangerous is the fact that, you know, prophetically the Bible says that that the Medes would be wild and that they can't be bought or sold. That's the difference. When somebody can't be bought or sold, that's what makes them dangerous. And yes, it's pronounced Iran. Iran. You know, we with this American dialect we have, we say Iran, but it's Iran. And Iran is really just Persia, ancient Persia. And they can't be bought or sold. And they believe that even if they self-destruct, they're going to get everlasting riches. They believe they're going to have 20 virgins in light of their death. This is what they believe. In the afterlife, if they blow themselves up in the name of freedom and justice, they believe that they will be rewarded. You can't fight, like Americans can't fight something like that. And make no mistake about it. In America, there's sleeper cells everywhere. Iranian sleeper cells, Middle Eastern sleeper cells everywhere. They're everywhere. Under the Biden administration, Biden brung them in. And they just wait. And yeah, we know this a game. The Democrats bring them in. The Republicans feed off of that. See, this is what they did. The Democrats brought all these illegals in, and they were military age. How many of y'all remember that? When the Democrats was bringing in military age Middle Easterns and different people in. Military age, no kids. They did that on purpose. Now, what did the Republicans do? They used that as an opportunity to put military in the streets. They use that as an opportunity. All right, let's station military strategically in every city. But now this ain't about immigration no more. It's about dominance. This is about control. Proverbs 6:34. Nothing you shall say or pay will make it right, neither bribes or reasons, nor will satisfy him. You see that? That's how the Iranians are. Ain't nothing America can do. They can't pay these people off. They can't try to go at them. Same thing with Greenland. They wasn't able to just offer them money. But America's going after everything that's solid. Minnesota, Minneapolis, sanctuary city. What is that message when you go after everything solemn? You're going after Minnesota. You're going after Venezuela, Greenland. What is that? That's a message. That's a message to us saying, listen, nothing is sacred. Nothing is off limits. That means if you go get your little land going together, if America feel like they can go confiscate that, they're trying to say that they can do whatever they want to do. That's the message. That they can hostily take over. They're sadly mistaken. America's reign of terror is coming to an end. It may not seem that way, but that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Let me see. Somebody says, my own white people will never understand me. They are so selfish. That's interesting. Yeah, well, Middle America's learning right now. When they turned a blind eye to the Constitution being broke, when they allowed police brutality to take place in our communities without rallying and petitioning, you know, they had the power to influence some change, but they were complicit. They were complicit. They thought all of that was necessary evil. The most Middle Americans, they think that everything America does is necessary evil so they can keep their civil liberties and keep the perks that they have in society. That's what it is with them. They won't tell you that, but I'm saying the quiet part out loud. They think that, you know, they thought rather that these things would never come to their doorstep. And I'm gonna be 100 with y'all, man. Middle America, y'all gonna have to get y'all Elmer Fudd shotguns, y'all beef jerky, your Rux gear bags. Um, y'all gonna have to get some pickup trucks, and y'all gonna have to get y'all ass out there and make something happen. Um, yeah, y'all had all that selective outrage, and the truth of the matter is, I'm gonna just tell you like this: ain't nothing about the shake unless y'all really put boots to the ground. Other than that, y'all just making noise right now. Y'all out there looking like the white civil rights movement, talking about we shall overcome. Them people ain't hearing that. Get y'all damn bug out bags. Get them Rux boots. It's gonna be gunpowder all over the streets. They're gonna have the Elmer Fudd Jones. It's gonna be gunpowder. The streets is gonna rank of gunpowder and oppression. But we gonna stay out of it. And I'm telling you, that's the only thing that's gonna make something shake. You see what we did. You see when they did what we did when they beat Rodney King. And we waited. We waited until that not guilty verdict. I ain't telling y'all what to do. I'm actually being facetious. Cause y'all already kind of getting busy out there. But I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna take. Y'all see what we did to LA. If y'all ain't about that life, they not really hearing y'all. Yeah, Judah, we gonna stand down and all of that. But if y'all ain't about that life, I don't know what to tell y'all. They just gonna keep on pulling up on y'all Starbucks. They gonna keep pulling up while y'all on the streets chilling, riding y'all bikes in the bike lane, damn near in the highway. They gonna just start snatching y'all up out the bike lane. Hey, y'all got to do something. Or they're gonna be coming down on your community while y'all out and about. Y'all gonna you eating falafels. Next thing you know, ICE pop up. You just eating your falafels. Now all of a sudden, your family getting put in a shipping container. Now they packing you up. I'm telling you, man. I know y'all laughing. I mean, man, I know some people may be offended. I'm just, hey, listen, I'm having fun because although I'm totally against what they're doing to the people, look, Middle America, y'all did watch all of this happen to us. Lorraine, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. She says, keep the truth always. Absolutely. And you know, and I'm saying the things a lot of Black Americans want to say, but I just happen to have an audience where I can sit up here and talk my talk. But it's just the reality of the situation. Either y'all gonna make something shake, or y'all gonna keep getting pressed out there. And I'm gonna tell y'all, brothers, right now, and I'm gonna go into this later. We gotta look into this new Black Panther Party. I'm just not trusting them. We're gonna have to look into this a little bit later. I'm not. They not striking me as being authentic. Cause where the hell the new Black Panthers pop up? How they pop up out of nowhere? Where y'all been the last 50 years? All of a sudden, some Caucasian people get gunned down in Middle America, and y'all just pop out of nowhere, trying to incite us to get out there. No. Where you Negroes come from? I don't know you Negroes. I'm gonna have to do my research on y'all because I'm thinking y'all some plants. I'm just not buying what you selling. Is y'all Antifa? Do y'all work for the Democratic Socialist Movement? Ah, ah, damn. Yeah, y'all came out at the wrong time. What are y'all, the White Panthers? Are y'all agent provocateurs being hired by the socialist movement? Because the socialist movement is out there in the streets. Definitely plants. Yeah, that's why, look, that's why the Bible says, take heed that no man deceive you, man. Don't let these people deceive you. Right now, y'all hearing exactly what we got to do, and that's fall back. But we got to pay attention, too. We definitely got to pay attention because it's still a problem that they're gunning down citizens. Somebody said a failed attempt to be in control opposition, trying to get black Americans involved. Exactly. I don't know who writes up these scripts. I don't know what I don't know what think tank they had. Cause you know they got these think tanks to try to figure out how to get us involved in certain stuff or what makes black people tick. What can incite them? Somebody I could just be a fly on the wall. They were sitting there like, yeah, I got a good one. Let's bring the Panthers back. Yeah, remember they were out there, Black Panthers. Yeah, that was our community, fool. That was our community. We were policing our community. That's when J. Edgar Hoover, sent the CIA to infiltrate us because we got punished for trying to police our own communities. We were going after our own people too, drug dealers and everything. Yeah, it's disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. It's like they sat around and was like, I get it. Let's get the Black Panther Party back out there. That'll get them involved. Like, what in the George Soros is this? I got a good one. Yeah, they'll feel emboldened. We'll let them carry firearms. Okay, we'll have them out there. Look, we out here beating the ish out of all these white people. They getting dragged. But the Black Panthers out there, it's like 30 of them out there with guns and they untouched. Nah. Who y'all work for? Who you niggas work for? Nah, I ain't buying that. Trying to make us feel safe to come out there. Come out here, y'all gonna be all right. They probably sitting there having coffee with ice. I ain't buying it. They having cappuccino with ice, man. They having iced coffees with ice. They out there beating the brakes out of pregnant white people. But you got 30 black brothers with afros and leather coats and they untouched. Oh, no. I'm not buying it. I'm not sending my people out there. We'll be we'll be chilling. We not getting involved in that circus. Y'all can have that. Yep, somebody said it. Iced coffee with ice. They chilling. We not buying what y'all selling us. Yeah, CIA ops. Same thing when they had who was that other guy they had? Damn, what was his name? What was his Grandmaster Jay? Remember they had Grandmaster Jay? He had an armed militia. Like, come on, what think tank came up with Grandmaster Jay? And that was in like in 2019. I get it. I know where to rile them up. We'll mix Grandmaster Flash with with Grandmaster we'll mix him with Jay-Z. We'll just come up with a rap name and we'll arm them. Yo, I remember I dismantled that Grandmaster Jay guy. I dismantled him back in the day, boy. I had all kind of videos cooking them, boy. Them damn think tanks. I don't know how they come up with it. Yeah, straight out of a comic book. You could tell that our people didn't think of that because it's too outdated. This ain't 1988. Who the hell following some dude out here armed militia like with a Run DMC name in 2018? Just to show you how outdated they are, bro. Like, come on now, stop it, bro. We cooked them so bad. Oh man, we cooked them so bad back in the day, bro. It was like, who are these people? Listen, Judah, we caught on to that so bad they had to just get rid of them. It was like, look, lock them up. They put them in protective custody on the low. They was up here in Georgia trying to rally people around, and I was on the scene, front line, like, yo, y'all, I'm in Georgia, they in Georgia, I don't care, bro. Them people ain't real, bro. That's government operatives. Let's give them a black superhero, 501c3, George Soros Decepticon. Let's put them on the streets and get them involved. No, look, leave us alone. And the reason why they want us involved, because we're excelling right now. We're excelling in a lot of ways that middle America don't want to talk about. Although you see the black degeneracy kink being pushed, they always showing us, in our worst, they dumpster dive for content. That's what they do. They dumpster dive for content about black people. If you do that with any race of people, you can find any demographic of people that you want to dehumanize. But they do that with us, and we start believing their lies. We start believing that we're not great. We start believing that we're not excelling. We start believing all of that nonsense because they get paid. World Star Hip Hop, Shade Room, all of these people get paid. They're non-black people who run this stuff. They get paid to make us look like savages. They literally be in a trash can dumpster diving for material of black people acting out of pocket, just to make us look like we all savages and inhumane. But in reality, we excelling in a whole lot of ways, man. We excelling in commerce, business ownership. Our people our health is better than ever. That's something that they're not talking about. Our health is on point. You know what I'm saying? Melanated people are not aging. Boy, we didn't found a fountain of youth. A lot of us, through all this stress, turmoil, anxiety, all this pressure on the world, we're actually still populating at a very high rate. Their birth rates are actually suffering. Their birth rates are staggering right now. Black folks out here aging better than ever. We out here adapting. We out here tapping into our God genes and all of that. We are transforming while all of this is happening. We becoming more awakened, more enlightened. Our children are becoming more brighter. They're excelling. Listen, they're excelling in these HBCUs. So these are the things they don't want to talk about. We becoming more health conscious. The average black person just ain't eating squid and ain't eating chitlins and hog maws like that. That's not how it's going. A lot of our people are changing. Yeah, man, I'm telling y'all, they can't get us involved in this. They can't get us involved in the games they playing. But we elevating in all facets of society right now. And then the delineation movement is getting them because they can no longer pad crimes against us, because now we finding out a lot of the crimes that was being committed was Somalians and Africans coming over here, and we had to absorb their crime number. So now when you look at crime in our communities, it has dropped expeditiously, and you finding out that our people are mostly peaceful. You finding out that our people are mostly peaceful. You finding out that, we actually do love each other as brothers and sisters. Most of us do. I notice a change just in Georgia. In general, Georgia is becoming a more pleasant place to live. And I don't know if it's because you got these white supremacists in office, All of a sudden, our people are sticking together, giving their head nod. All of a sudden, strangers is giving them fist bumps. Hey, bro, what's up? That's happening a lot more. Even the sisters are speaking. Like, hey, how you doing? They waving, they speaking. Everybody seem to be, because it's like, yo, we got this thing with us. The think tank, what the think tank does is they try to figure out when we gonna all come together and rise up, but they don't understand. They wasting their time. Black people speak without speaking. Something as simple as a head nod. We're not just coming together in groups like, yo, this is what we're gonna do to uprise. And no. We know when it's go time. We can go in a room, head nod, bro, you good? And you know what that means? That head nod right there, that's nonverbal communication. That means, look, if it go down in here, we together. If it's just a few of us in the building, hey, we good in here. That's what we on. It ain't gonna be just some uprising. We gonna know when it's go time because we got intuition. We stay on code. We got insight. It's embedded in us. It's in the fiber of our being. We know how to survive. We can feel things. That's why in the movie, soon something happened, black people are the first ones to run up out of there. We got instinct. We didn't survive too much. We literally adapted. Yeah, we know when it's go time. They waiting on the wrong thing, man. They're too busy trying to control our uprising. They're trying to control the revolution, not even understanding that you can't control it. Yo, thank you, brother. Says, all praises to the Most High. I hear you cooking, bro. I truly appreciate channels like yours that keep up with the news that's going on. We don't have any time to be thinking carnally or behaving recklessly. That part. And that's what they want. Yeah, but we're very aware of what's going on in the news. Somebody said, actually, we the first ones to die in the movie. Yeah, that's true. But you know that's backwards. Because in real life, y'all know, if one of us start running, all of us running. I mean, they done social experiments on this. You see a black guy running, you see more than one black person just running, oh, we dipping. It's danger. That's the reality of it. Movies ain't telling you the truth. Yeah, we getting up out of there. And that's how it's going to be. As time goes, as time dwells, we going to know when it's time. I ain't even going to have to say much. Y'all know that we got our land initiative in North Carolina. We got UP Farms. We got a piece of land, you know, sitting on some acreage, over 100 acres. And y'all already know what that land is for. It's called in case stuff happen. Y'all already know where we going to meet up. Those who already met in person, y'all know where we going. It's going to be nonverbal. It's going to be like something going to happen. Some power going to go out worldwide, nationwide. People going to be like, oh, snap, let me get on that email list. Let me get my love. That's why y'all got to get your love notes, too. So you can be in touch. And we're going to link up. We're going to, listen, if internet blackouts come and hell start breaking loose, there's certain families, we already know what we're doing. We're going to meet up. We got the coordinates. We'll be right there. That's what we do. I don't just be talking, bro. We really move like this. We really move like this because the times we living in is it's real out here. Yep, somebody says have a compass, notebook, and coordinates. Yeah, we prepared for stuff, man. And we not fearful. We just prepared. We just prepared. And we not no religious cult or nothing like it. We just like-minded people. We just like-minded people who come together and, you know, who really understand the importance of community. And it's just like-minded people. It ain't a race thing. It ain't none of that. Like-minded people. Yep, somebody, Tania said it. She said that's what real people do. Yeah, because it's gonna come a time where the buffers that we have here, those things are gonna come to pass. Yeah, America's going down. It's going down bad, and God's chosen people, we're gonna come out on top. The Bible says that we shall leave our captivity plenteous in goods, and we will, because there's a transition of power going on. There's a transfer of power going on. The wicked can't see it because the wicked gonna be destroyed. But anyway, all praises to the Most High. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining the broadcast. It's always an honor dealing with like-minded people. Uh, we're gonna be going live, sometime soon. If not, make sure y'all check the archives for my previous content. Of course, support the work. Thank everybody who sent super chats. Support the work by going on nubreedglobaltruth.com as well. Get yourself a love note, because the love notes will plug you into the database, and we can stay in touch with each other. And also, follow me on Instagram, man. My IG is Nubreed404. It's like I'm just under 10,000 followers on IG. Let's get that to the 10,000 mark. So follow me there, and also that's a great place to send me sources. It's a great place to send me sources on Instagram. Nubreed404 is the Instagram. There's a lot of fake accounts claiming to be me. I have a little bit under 10,000 followers on Instagram, so that's really me. The rest of those people, I don't know those folks. So, yeah, man, make sure y'all hit me up on the IG. But one love to y'all. Y'all stay blessed out there. Momentary, you coming. Stay safe. Peace.